Hello, Ka Familia. Good morning, everyone, and welcome to our Cacao Production Seminar Workshop. We're excited to have you all here today. Before we begin, may I request everyone to please stand for the invocation and remain standing for the singing of the Philippine National Anthem.
Dear Heavenly Father, we thank you for gathering us all today in this important endeavor. We ask that you bestow your guidance and blessing upon each attendee. May we honor one another by keeping an open mind. May we voice our truth and listen with an open heart. Bless everyone present today, that each may be able to share his or her contributions and gifts. Grant good health and safety to loved ones left outside this room, and bestow peace and goodwill to all.
Mga kababayan, ang pambansang awit ng Pilipinas.
Kayang magiliw, telas ng sinakanan, alam ng puso, sa titik mo'y buhay. Lupang hinirang, kuya ka ng magiting, sa manluluping, di ka pasisingil, sa nagatak tutok sa simoy at sa langit kong pagaw, ay hinatang tulad, awit sa pagkayang minamahal, ang isang ng matawad mo'y tagumpay na nagtitindig, ang bituin at araw niya kailan pang ay di magtitindig. Luman ang araw ng walhagit pagsinta, buhay langit sa piling ko. Ang inigaya na pagkay mga api, ang mamatay ng dahil sa'yo.
Please be seated. At this point, I am deeply honored to take a moment to acknowledge our stunning and active instructor, Mrs. Janice Suhor. A big hand, please. I would like to acknowledge the presence of our participants from the different farmers associations. Initially kick off our seminar, let's hear from our very demure and active third-year student of the College of Agriculture, Forestry and Fisheries. Let's give a warm round of applause to Miss Dexy J. Cabarubias.
Our guest speakers, teachers, and students, good day. It is my pleasure to welcome all of you to today's seminar titled Cacao Flush, Fermented versus Unfermented. This seminar brings together cacao enthusiasts, experts, and industry professionals to discuss the fascinating world of cacao processing. Today, we will explore the differences between fermented and unfermented cacao, examining their unique impacts on flavor, quality, and the chocolate making process. We're excited to hear insights from our speakers, engage in meaningful discussions, and perhaps even challenge some conventional thinking about cacao. Thank you for being here, and I look forward for an enriching session ahead. Again, good morning.
Next, we have an inspirational message from Miss Lerma A. Babor. Please give her a warm welcome.
Once again, good morning, Ka Familia. Today, as we commence our seminar workshop this year 2024, I am deeply honored to have you all, especially to our stunning and active instructor, Mrs. Janice Suhor. In this session, I want to share and impart this message with you, highlighting the art and science, a journey of truth, resilience, and the sweet rewards of hard work. We gather today to delve into the rich and rewarding world of cacao production. This noble pursuit, rooted in Asian tradition, has shaped civilization and continues to delight our taste buds with its exquisite flavors. Cacao, the cornerstone of chocolate, is more than just a commodity. It's a symbol of hope, resilience, and the potential of sustainable economic growth. From the fertile lands of our region, we have the unique opportunity to cultivate a crop that can uplift communities and contribute to a brighter future. But the path to success is not without its challenges. Climate change, pest, and market fluctuation pose significant threats to cacao production. It is imperative that we adopt innovative farming practices, invest in research and development, and foster strong partnership to overcome these obstacles. By embracing sustainable methods, we can protect our environment, ensure the long-term viability of cacao cultivation, and create a more equitable distribution of benefits. Let us commit to using cacao as a catalyst for positive change, empowering farmers and promoting social and economic development together. We can write a new chapter in the story of cacao production, one that is marked by excellence, sustainability, and a shared commitment to a sweeter future for all. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Babor. You have set the tone for a productive and informative seminar today. At this juncture, I'd like to introduce our esteemed speakers for today. We have Mr. Jason Monopolio and Ms. Micaela Denise Bandilan, a renowned experts in cacao cultivation. A big hand, please.
So good day everyone. Now I'm going to continue and discuss the health benefits of cacao. So cacao, which is the unprocessed form of chocolate, is a nutrient-rich food with a range of health benefits. So there are 10 health benefits of cacao, namely, first, we have the antioxidant properties. So cacao is loaded with flavonoids, natural compounds with strong antioxidant properties. So these antioxidants help neutralize the free radicals, which are unstable molecules that can damage cells and contribute to aging and chronic diseases like cancer and heart disease. So by fighting oxidative stress, cacao supports overall health and longevity. So when including cacao in your diet, it can act as a shield against environmental toxins and stressors. So opting for raw cacao or dark chocolate with high cacao content ensures a rich dose of those protective compounds. So the second health benefit of cacao is its anti-inflammatory properties. So flavonoids in cacaos also have an anti-inflammatory effects, helping to stimulate the immune system and reduce inflammation. So chronic inflammation is linked to numerous diseases, including arthritis, diabetes, and heart disease. So regular consumption of cacao can help manage low-grade inflammation, which is often silent but detrimental over time. So its natural compounds may complement other anti-inflammatory foods like berries and nuts. So third is it reduces bad cholesterol. So cacao contains theobromine, a compound that helps reduce LDL cholesterol or bad cholesterol and increases HDL cholesterol, which is a good cholesterol. So this balance is crucial for maintaining healthy arteries and reducing the risk of cardiovascular disease. So by promoting healthier cholesterol levels, cacao serves as a heart-friendly food. Incorporating it into a balanced diet may enhance cardiovascular heart may enhance cardiovascular health without relying solely on medication. So the fourth health benefit is it may prevent cognitive decline. So, cacao contains moderate amounts of caffeine, which has a neuroprotective effects when consumed in moderation. So, it can improve focus, memory, and cognitive function, and may reduce the risk of neurodegenerative diseases like Alzheimer's disease. So, cacao's role in brain health is significant, especially for aging populations. So, combining it with other brain-boosting foods, such as omega-3 rich fish, may amplify its effects. So, the fifth health benefit is that it may help with sleep. So, while cacao contains caffeine, its theobromine levels can counterbalance the stimulating effects, promoting relaxation. So additionally, tryptophan, an amino acid in cacao, converts into melatonin, a hormone that regulates sleep. So consuming cacao in the evening can promote better sleep, especially when paired with other calming rituals like meditation or herbal teas. Opt for raw cacaos or minimally processed chocolate to avoid excessive sugar intake, which may disrupt sleep. So, while cacao contains caffeine, which promotes wakefulness, it also contains theobromine, which counterbalances the caffeine's effect, therefore promoting relaxation and sleep. So the sixth health benefit is relaxation and happiness. So cacao boosts the production of serotonin and dopamine, neurotransmitters associated with happiness and relaxation. So it also contains compounds like phenylethylamine, which are thought to elevate mood. So the mood-enhancing properties of cacao make it a natural alternative to stress relief methods. Enjoying a small piece of dark chocolate during stressful times can be a quick and effective pick-me-up. So the seventh health benefit is that it can improve exercise recovery. So, the caffeine in cacao acts as a vasodilator, improving blood flow by stimulating nitric oxide production. So, this helps deliver oxygen and nutrients to muscles, reducing soreness and speeding up recovery after exercise. So, athletes and fitness enthusiasts can benefit from cacao as a natural recovering aid. So, it can be consumed as part of a post-workout snack or smoothie to maximize its benefits. So, it can help speed up recovery because the caffeine in cacao will act as a vasodilator. Therefore, it will stimulate the blood flow and resulting to faster delivery of oxygen and nutrients to muscles. So the ninth health benefit is it supports heart health. So cacao's flavonoids protect the endothelium, the inner lining of blood vessels, reducing blood pressure and improving circulation. So this vasodilatory effect benefits heart health and reduces strain on the cardiovascular system. So heart disease is a leading cause of mortality worldwide, and cacao offers a delicious way to support heart health. So pairing it with a heart-healthy diet, including fruits, vegetables, and whole grains, enhances its protective effects. So the ninth health benefit is that it contains essential nutrients. So cacao is a rich source of magnesium, potassium, and calcium, essential for muscle and heart function. So deficiencies in these nutrients can lead to fatigue, irregular heart rhythms, and brain fog. So while incorporating cacao into your diet can help fill nutritional gaps, particularly for individuals with high nutrient demands, such as athletes, pregnant women, or those with dietary restrictions. The 10th health benefit, and the last, is that cacao may have an anti-aging properties. So, cacao's flavonoids support skin health by preventing water loss, boosting collagen production, and protecting against UV damage.
Seminar will cover the essential guidelines for efficient and effective cacao harvesting. So, guideline number 1, harvest only ripe pods from 25% ripeness. So, first and foremost, we want to ensure we're harvesting the pods at peak ripeness, which is around 25% ripe. Then, guideline number 2, use sharp hooks, knives, or shears in harvesting. So, the next crucial factor is using the right tools like sharp hooks, knives, or shears, making a clean cut. Then, guideline number 3, aim harvesting tools on the peduncle or pedicel of the pod to avoid the damage on flower cushion. So, now let's talk about precision. Avoid damaging the flower cushion, which is the area where the new flowers and buds develop. Then number 4, damaged flower cushions will lead to reduced productivity. So damage to this area can significantly reduce future productivity. Then guideline number 5, ripe pods equals enhanced fermentation. So finally, remember that ripe pods are crucial for successful fermentation. They contain more sugars and enzymes which are essential for transforming the bitter beans into flavorful chocolate. Then pods storage. Store ripe pods on a shelf right after harvesting. Store it 5 to 7 days. Pods storage. Store ripe pods on a shelf right after harvesting. Store it 5 to 7 days. After harvesting, store the cacao pods in a shed for 5 to 7 days. This allows them to ripen further and develop a more intense flavor. Then, separate infected pods from the good pods. So, remove any pods that show signs of pod rot. This helps prevent the spread of disease and ensure the quality of the beans. Then, cacao pod breaking, bean removal and training. Break the pod using a woody mallet or customized pod breaker. The pod breaker should be at least at most 1 cm wide to avoid damaging the beans. Then remove the beans from the pod by hand or using a scooper.
Good morning everyone. So I am Jericho Moses-Daniel, and my next topic is about the cacao bean fermentation. So there's no chocolate flavor in cacao beans without proper fermentation. So mostly sa kasagaran sa ato is the traditional na ato siyang ugasan, which is the unfermented cacao beans. So there are 5 major factors affecting fermentation. We have the air circulation. The air circulation, turning off mixing cacao beans during fermentation introduces oxygen, which is crucial for acetic acid bacteria to oxidize ethanol into acetic acid. So next is the sugar or enzymes. Third is the temperature. So 35 degrees Celsius to 50 degrees Celsius. So number 4 is the fermentation box, materials and size. Next is the height of cocoa bean peeling. So feed fermentation guidelines. First is good quality wet beans must be delivered to the fermentaries not later than 12 hours. So, gikan sa pag-peel nato sa pagkuha sa liso, so kinahanglan ta kuan siya, kaning patuluon siya nato siya o kuan dili siya mo taas sa 12 hours. So, the second is sa fermentation box. So, ang atong fermentation box is kuan na siya 1 meter ang kuan ang wide niya, tapos 1 meter by 1 meter ang iyang square. Tapos ang iyang deep is half meter deep. So, made of forestry wood that can hold 200 kg to 400 kg capacity na liso na to. So, rattan basket for 30 to 50 kilograms wet cacao beans. Then, next is the basket fermentation, 30 kg to 50 kg cacao wet beans. or smaller holder farmers. So sa atong mga smaller holder farmers, so pwede ito magamit og kuan kani ratan basket or pwede na nato siya og kuan kanang sa balde or palanggana. So banana leaf lining prevent the cocoa from drying out and also act as insulation to hold in heat. Fermentation is completed about 5 to 6 days. So ato na siyang tabunan o banana leaf ang atong pag-ferment if dili din nato ato. So next is the third is the place first wet beans on upper box and cover with jute sack. Let it stay for 2 days. So ato na siya ang atong fermentation na is kung ginakuan siya kanang plantation niya siya o cacao beans. So we have the fermentation boxes na layer by layer. So 9 box sa kinaunan, the third layer, tapos sa ikaduha na dyan po box, so sa ikatulo. So kung pagkakuan na siya pagka first day niya and second day, nasa kinataas iputan, then pagka after sa 2 to 3 days, ikalaon na po siya sa atong ikaduha na box. So third wet beans after 2 to 3 days down to the lower box, cover again with jute sacks and let it stay for another 1 to 2 days until na maabot sa kinaubsan and ready na siya for drying. So fermentation process. So fermentation of sugar in pods surrounding cocoa. So makita na to sugar yang i-break down into alcohol and then mahimo siya acetic acid. So ang acetic acid produced externally penetrate through the husk and cause the biochemical reaction in the beans that are responsible for forming chocolate flavor precocium. So, wala siya mo-breakdown sa itong, wala yung kinahanglan din sa itong cacao beans so, para makahimo siya og flavor. So kinahanglan yun na siya kuhaan kanang acetic acid na to para muna siya mo-form sa flavor sa atong beans. So, next. So, nanatadri sa drying. So, nakaman na to sa fermentation, nanatadri sa different types of drying. So, we have the sun drying. So, ang sun drying is typically magamit din nato siya sa atong ginamay ng farm. And mostly, na po yung magamit ani sa mga farmers na dinako dyan sa ila. So, sun drying, basically, so, ibulan nato siya sa direct heat sa sun. So, ang atong disadvantage ani is pag-agad na sa panahon. So, pag-agad na sa panahon kung init ba or maulan, kaya di man tagamulan sa gawas o magsigi o ulan. So, mawala na siya yung challenges. And then, para na ko, mas masunod ang process kung naa siya, ang atong gamiton is ang sun drying kay kung magkadugay magud siya mauga is makita dyan na to ang flavor or mataste dyan na to ang true flavor sa chocolate. So next is the solar drying. So solar drying, kuha siya, ang atong example lang is mga greenhouses or plastic tunnels. So, iyang itrap ang heat sa sulod. So, na siya kuha, ganing ato siyang i-maintain ang iyang warm controlled environment. So, bisan pag mag-ulan, mag-init pa diha. So, naagyapon ang kuan cacao sa ilalong. So, dili siya matandog, dili mo siya masulod og ulan. So, ang ato challenges ani is higher initial investment cost. So, mahal jud ang greenhouse and requires monitoring to prevent overheating. So, kinahanglan natin siya i-maintain ang iyang kainiton, kinahanglan natin i-maintain para dili ma-overheat or madawat ang cacao. So next, the last one is the artificial drying. So ang example niya kay mechanical dryers. So mga mechanical dryers is, ang example niya is katong, ang ato is katong kuluanan o kupras which is ang dryer. Katong sugnuran ng kahoy, and then oven. So pwede siya i-oven pero ang ato lang kakuanan is gasto siya og electricity, sa wood, dayon ang challenges na to is makakause yung impact sa atong flavor negatively if dried too quickly or at excessive high temperature. So, madaot yun atong cacao beans kay makuha man na siya, mura man na siya masunog. So, wala siya lamig, pahit na siya. So, that's all. And
so today I will discuss about the unfermented cacao. So, unfermented cacao beans, also known as a raw cacao, are produced by a process that avoids the traditional fermentation. This drying process is crucial for preventing the unique characteristics of unfermented cacao. It prevents the natural enzymatic reaction and microbial activity that would otherwise occur during fermentation, resulting in more fruity, tangy, and slightly acidic flavor profile, as well as a higher concentration of antioxidants and enzymes. So unfermented cacao, this is what we call a raw cacao. We're avoiding the fermentation steps. Direct rata sa process niya sa mga pagaling na rekta sa cacao. So unfermented cacao beans often referred to as cacao nibs, offer starkly different taste and texture experience compared to their unfermented counterparts. Unfermented beans maintain a pronounced bitterness, often described as strange, astringent, or even slightly metallic. The bitterness of unfermented cacao is often described as intense, lingering, contrasting sharply with the smooth, velvety texture and balanced sweetness of the fermented chocolate. So, fermented cacao, na siya, kumbaga, gatog yung flavor nga kanang kapait. So, kaniyang bitterness is, muna yung nagdala niya sa smooth and sa aroma of the cacao.
Let's continue the demonstration of unfermented cacao processing. So, first step in demonstrating unfermented cacao processing. So, first is the harvesting. So, cacao pods are harvesting when ripe, typically identified by their color and texture. So, mag-harvest na if ever good, karag yung fully matured cacao. Then, pods are carefully hand-picked by avoid damaging 3 flowerings are. So, if ever, maghinihinin po ta sa atong pag-pick sa cacao, even if fully matured ang cacao, kay even fully matured na cacao, there's also a flower behind or either beside that cacao matured. So pods and bean separation. So pods are broken open and the beans are extracted. Beans are separated from the surrounding pods.
Okay, once again, good day everyone. So let's proceed to market trends for fermented and fermented cacao. So fermented cacao, dominant market share. Fermented cacao continues to dominate the market due to its traditional use in chocolate making and its wide appeal to consumers. So, ang ato ang fermented cacao, muna siya still dominating na po siya because of the traditional uses kay dagan man siya po ang mugamit aning niya usually from kanang mga events na tradition sa mga tao. Next is the premiumization trend. There is a growing trend towards premium single origin chocolates made from high-quality fermented cacao beans. Consumers are increasingly willing to pay a premium for unique flavor, profiles, and ethical sourcing. Usually, aning mga premiumization trend, ang mga aning mga consumers ani are kanang mga dato sila kay kanang naay mga special events or mga events na gamitan nila og chocolates. So they willing to pay premium for unique flavor kaya sila yung mga balamitan na. Next is the sustainability and ethical sourcing. Consumers are becoming more conscious of sustainable and ethical practices in the chocolate industry. This is driving demand for fermented cacao sourced from farms that prioritize fair trade and environmental sustainability. So for the sustainability and ethical sourcings, ang mga consumers are conscious sila for sustainable and ethical practices.
Market trends for fermented and unfermented cacao. So the market of unfermented cacao is a segment within the broader cacao industry, experiencing a growing interest due to its unique flavor profile and potential health benefits. So kabalo kita nga ang fermented cacao is mo joy ipakita sa atong sa market, sa atong consumer dahil tungod, budget, umot. Pero ang daghan is ang unfermented cacao because dali na siya himuon. So the unfermented cacao, so niche market growth while still of unfermented cacao. So, niche market growth. While still a niche market, unfermented cacao is gaining popularity among health-conscious consumers. It draws materials state the higher antioxidant content are appealing to those seeking healthier alternatives. Next is the functional food and beverage trends. Unfermented cacao is being incorporated in functional food and beverage products such as protein, powder, energy bar, and superfood blends. Next is raw chocolate and vegan market. The growing popularity of raw chocolate and vegan products is driving demand for unfermented cacao as it aligns with this dietary preference.
And that concludes our discussion for Cacao Flash fermented versus unfermented. To wrap up this enlightening event, we're honored to have Miss Julinda Alberto share her closing thoughts. Please join me to welcome her.
Good morning, everyone. As we conclude our cacao production seminar, I want to express my sincere gratitude to all our speakers, panelists, and participants. Your contributions have made this event a success. We hope the knowledge and insight gained today will empower you to elevate your cacao productions, practices, and contribute to the growth of the industry. Thank you once again for joining us. We look forward to seeing you at future events. Have a